I'd like to welcome all of you to the 03-04 school year. This year should be a wonderful challenge and a wonderful year for all of us. Last year was a tremendously successful year throughout the district. We made great strides in student improvement. Test scores were strong. We passed a bond issue in the fall. We established an education foundation, and we had 2 state championship teams. And I want all of you to know how much I appreciate your efforts and the success that we had last year. This year should be equally rewarding. I would like to issue a challenge to all of you, and that challenge is to achieve exemplary status across the board on each campus this year in Red Oak ISD. And in order for us to achieve that goal, we have to believe as a team, we have to work together. We do have all the key ingredients in place. We have a wonderful supportive community, we have great parents, we have dedicated staff members, and we have great students. So I fully believe that we can achieve that, and I appreciate your efforts and will thank you in advance for that. This year we do have major construction projects going on. We're in the process of building a new career tech center for the high school. We also have plans finalized for a new performing arts center. So much time and effort will be devoted to those 2 projects this year. So that's a quick snapshot of where we've been and where we're going. And again, I would like to say welcome and best wishes for a great year.
Coming up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
Once again, with the new year comes many changes around Red Oak ISD. And a follow-up to last month's report on new teachers, we introduce you to some new faces around the district.
Founders Day and Homecoming 2003 was fun for all as both events took place earlier this month. Coming up later in this month's District in 60 Seconds, we will have scenes from the Founders Day Parade, and later sports reporter Brady Sapp will share with us some highlights from Homecoming 2003.
Plus, Hawkeye News drops in on our wonderful counseling office for tips students need to know for success and information that will help us all reach our academic goals. Details straight ahead.
CBI students are keeping Red Oak High School looking great as students plant nice gardens around the West Campus. That report coming up later.
And finally, Hawkeye News crime reporter Tamara Llewellyn talks to us about a drug that has a very high price, not only with health but mental and emotional damage that can last a lifetime. News students can use later in our show.
All coming up next on this September edition of Hawkeye News.
You're watching Hawkeye News with Rachel Selvey and Christian Henson. Sports with Brady Sapp. News coverage from the Junior High Bureau with Katie Stanglin. Plus, academic and student life reports with our Hawkeye News team. Hawkeye News, leadership you can depend on.
Welcome to this edition of Hawkeye News for September 2003. I'm Natalie Hillary, filling in for Rachel Selvey.
And I'm Christian Henson. We would like to thank Dr. Wagner for taking time out to appear on Hawkeye News and welcome everyone back. We're looking forward to making this a great year in Red Oak ISD.
We have a lot to report this month on Hawkeye News as fall gets underway and we prepare for our holiday news coverage starting next month.
But first, this month's top stories. Our news coverage begins with a continuation from last month's introductory to new faces around Red Oak ISD. Katie Stanglin will have more information about new teachers at Red Oak Junior High later, but first, we here at Hawkeye News would like to welcome 10 new teachers to the high school. Red Oak Intermediate will be adding 6 new teachers. Eastridge Elementary has added 3 new teachers. Along with that, moving from part-time to full-time at Eastridge is Miss Kathy Schmidt. Miss Kistner, the principal at Red Oak Elementary, has brought in 8 new teachers. Shields Elementary has added 5 new teachers. And rounding out the new employees, Woodin Elementary has added 4 new teachers. Many of these teachers bring experience from other districts, while some are starting out their careers in Red Oak ISD. But to all, we want to show them just what a great choice they made when they made their home at Red Oak ISD. Welcome to Red Oak.
If you see a nice garden starting to grow around the West Campus, you can thank the wonderful students of Mr. Smith's CBI class. Mr. Smith, his assistants, and the students have begun working the garden, which is located just outside the cafeteria at the West Campus. Each student has a specific duty in keeping the garden looking great. Everett is learning to water, Chastity rakes, and Vicky supervises. The group is planting perennial grasses, and with patience and hard work, the students anticipate the garden growing into a beautiful area for the school.
Mr. Burns had designated an area out here for the class to garden, and when I noticed that it was right here by the cafeteria windows, I thought, what a great place to get some gardening going on, so the kids would have something hands-on to do and that they could connect to. I've always been a dirt dauber of sorts myself, so I enjoy that activity, and I knew Everett and Vicki and Chastity would enjoy it, because down the line maybe Everett might be able to possibly work at a nursery. Chastity herself, she could handle garden center situation, just learn the basics, how to water plants, how not to step on them when you're in the area, and just basic things, plus just to get outdoors and have that kind of freedom. You know, CBI is sometimes a misunderstood class. People hear CBI and they go, what's CBI? Well, it's community-based instruction, and this is part of the community, and I've been lucky enough to have some of the community donate plants and flowers. I'd like to mention them. All That Grows, the new garden center here in town, and M&M Electric Company, Jesse there and Patrick up at All That Grows. We're looking forward to a great gardening adventure.
We commend the students, Mr. Smith, and the entire CBI unit for all their hard work and dedication to making Red Oak ISD a better place for all of us. Way to go, CBI.
Did you know that Red Oak students can now join the PTA? PTA President Kathy Dixon says that students have always been able to join, but has not been advertised much.
The Red Oak High School PTA is an organization that strives to improve the communication between student and teacher, teacher and parent, and even student and parent. Although it stands for the Parent-Teacher Association, it doesn't stop there. High school students are also permitted to be members, and I am challenging all students to do just that. Well, one of the benefits is that each year the PTA awards scholarships to underclassmen and seniors, and it's done on a point system, and if they are a member of PTA, they gain points, and it gives them an advantage to winning those scholarships. The high school PTA only has one main fundraiser, that is being responsible for the concession stand at the high school football games. We are always in need of volunteers to work and especially count on PTA members, including students, to do just that. The money we raise not only helps pay for the scholarships we award, we also sponsor the senior walk-in luncheon every year and fish camp. We provide the teachers with several special meals throughout the year, showing not only our appreciation for what they do, but also the students. This year, the PTA board has voted to add a new item to our proposed budget, and that is to provide teacher scholarships. It is our hope that if we can help our teachers continue their education, we will be rewarded by having the best teachers possible. The membership dues are only $4, and it is worth so much more. I'm hoping when a student or parent joins, they will find that out firsthand, like myself and so many other caring parents have also found out.
Thanks, Ms. Dixon, and all the great parents and teachers of the PTA. As you can see, our PTA does a great deal for us, so let's all consider joining our local PTA and show support for those who support us every day.
This month's District in 60 Seconds is brought to you by Bow Wow Barbers, Professional Pet Styling. We'll have your pet stepping out in style.
It's been a busy time for me with homecoming and many other activities, so I first want to thank Natalie for sitting in for me on the desk this month. I have been working on a few assignments to bring to you in this special expanded edition of District in 60 Seconds. First, we wanted to bring our seniors some important information from the Senior Parents Committee. Right now, the senior parents are hard at work on a couple of great projects. The first is the selling of our calendars that is underway. Several of the seniors will be featured in the calendar this year, and you can pick up your copy of the calendar at the home varsity football games. The seniors will also be having a costume party with prizes, a live DJ, and much more later in October. And finally, the Class 2004 is hoping to start a new fundraising tradition with the first annual Red Oak High School Star Search. Auditions for the show will be held in early October, with the event coming up in November. There will be special guest judges, cash prizes, and much more. Seniors should encourage their parents to get involved in the Parents Committee, which meets the second Tuesday each month at the Red Oak High School cafeteria. If you would like more information on any of the events, you can call Mrs. Kathy Dixon at 972-617-6830 or Mrs. Pam Robertson at 972-617-6772. It was also a big night on Friday, September 19th for our seniors and many underclassmen as the homecoming king and queen were announced. Freshman class Prince and Princess are Jacob Walker and Carissa Aldridge. Sophomore Prince and Princess are our very own Hawkeye News anchors Brady Sapp and Christian Henson. Juniors Justin Hamill and Christy Sanchez. And for the senior class, I was proud to be selected Senior Class Princess along with the Class Prince Darius Gray. The homecoming king and queen for 2003 are Andrew De La Garza and Melissa Martinez. The 2002 king and queen Dominic Pryor and Ashley Elliott were on hand to pass down the crowns to this year's winners. Special thanks to Mrs. Dulworth and Mrs. Thomes for putting together a great halftime ceremony. Congratulations to all the nominees and the great sponsors who helped organize the event. We now move to parades, award winners, and school safety as we take a closer look at this month's District in 60 Seconds. Founders Day. Founders Day 2003 was once again a big success with floats, booths, entertainment, and fun for all. The event was held on Saturday, September 13th at the City Park with many Red Oak ISD students taking part. Tilly Webb receives honor. Red Oak Intermediate student Tilly Webb recently received her U.S. Academic Academy certificate this summer. Tilly is a 6th grader at Red Oak Intermediate and was nominated by her teacher, Mrs. Laura Smith. Tilly is the daughter of Matthew and Maury Webb. Congratulations, Tilly, from Hawkeye News. Wooden Elementary kicks off a Wristwatch program. With a grant from the Red Oak Fire Department, Fire Marshal Tim Birdwell and teachers for Wooden Elementary recently kicked off the Wristwatch program that will be taught at both Wooden and Red Oak Elementary schools this year. The program will teach younger students many safety lessons through classroom instruction. Red Oak High School Hadit gets underway. Red Oak High School Hadit recently held its organizational meeting to kick off the 2003-2004 school year. Officers for Hadit this year will be announced by October 1st. If you'd like to join Hadit this year, look for sign-up sheets during lunch at both Main and West campuses. And that's your District in 60 seconds.
Football games themselves are reason enough to come out and support the team on Friday nights. But with a Red Oak varsity football game, you get so much more. You get to see one of the top band and drill teams in the area. The Mighty Hawk Band just continues to grow and get better under the direction of band director Mark Pease, and this year Mr. Pease is proud to have his on-the-field leaders, drum majors Courtney Cabine, Dylan Thomas, and Jessica McCarty. The band has really looked great so far under the leaderships of Courtney, Dylan, and Jessica, and we look forward to seeing all the honors the band will be bringing home this year. Another group of hardworking ladies are the Red Oak High School Hawkettes. The drill team is under the direction of Mrs. Laura Kelly and under the field direction of this year's officers, Senior Captain Jillian Daniels, along with Senior Lieutenant Jamie Gordon, Senior Lieutenant Holly Hoffman, Senior Lieutenant Emily Pusgar, Senior Lieutenant Rachel Selvey, and Junior Lieutenant Lacey Jacobs. The Hawkettes have also done a great job this year and look forward to many competitions in the coming months. With these new officers in charge and taking charge, this year will be a definite success.
And now it's time for sports with Brady Sapp. Brady?
Thanks, Christian. Sports is off to a fast start at Red Oak High School, and this month we take a look at the Hawks football team, Lady Hawks volleyball team, and cross country, all coming up in this edition of Hawkeye Sports after a word from our sponsor.
This month's Hawkeye News Sports is brought to you by Rainbow Collision Paint and Body. Call for your free estimate.
Welcome back, Hawks sports fans. Let's talk sports. We start this month with our Lady Hawks volleyball team as they have rolled onto an impressive 25-1 record at press time. The ladies have started the season with dominating victories over Lake Highlands and LD Bell before playing one of the most prestigious 4 and 5A tournaments in the state in Duncanville. The ladies did a great job posting wins over Westwood and Coppell before losing a tough match to 5A powerhouse Allen. The ladies would bounce back and take victories over Clements and Arlington Lamar to finish 5th in the tournament. The ladies would then take on Mesquite and come away with a hard-fought victory over the Lady Skeeters. With no rest for our ladies, they headed into what has been called one of the toughest 4A tournaments in the state at Justin Northwest. In Justin, tournament MVP Tori Dacus, along with all-tournament selection Lori Burrow and outstanding setter Amber Lorman, led the team to victories over El Paso, Riverside, Lake Travis, Cleburne, Santa Fe, and Dumas, before meeting up with rival from last year's playoff run, Friendswood, in the championship. The ladies, as they did last year, would not be denied by Friendswood and took the championship 25-22, 21-25, 31-29, and 25-8, and sending a message to the rest of the contenders in 4A that the title runs through Red Oak this year. The ladies continued their winning ways with victories over Marcus and Greenhill before heading into the Arlington tournament. The Arlington tournament would once again be a major test for our ladies as they would face and defeat Richland, Marcus, Weatherford, and Arlington Lamar before knocking off another top 10 team in the area, the South Lake Carroll Lady Dragons, in the championship 25-15, 25-13. Tournament MVP Lori Burrow had 16 kills of Red Oak's 26 kills, while Carroll only had 16 kills as a team. Lori told Star Telegram reporter Rick Mock in an interview after the match, "Oh yes, definitely. We had planned this from the beginning. Not looking past Lamar, we wanted these guys." Speaking of South Lake, she went on to say, "This is good, very good." And very good has been an understatement for the Lady Hawks thus far this year. In the tournament, other Lady Hawks receiving honors were all-tournament selection Tori Dacus, along with outstanding defensive player Chelsea Pena and outstanding setter Amber Lorman. The ladies defeated Cleburne, Springtown, Midlothian, and Coppell before pairing their first home game match of the season against Trinity Addison. The ladies were scheduled to take on Bishop Lynch, but the match was canceled by Lynch. The Lady Hawks soundly defeated Trinity as they begin to look towards district play, beginning next week. Hawkeye News reporter Robert Kent will take a closer look at district schedule for the Lady Hawks later in the show. It has been clear thus far why our defending state champions of Class 4A have held on to the #1 ranking, and with the hard work they continue to put in every day, we wish them the best of luck as they continue their road to the playoffs. In other sports action, our Hawks football team got off to a great start before being brought back down to earth with 3 straight losses to Joshua, Fort Worth Southwest, and Midlothian. The Hawks would open on the road with a team they had never beaten, the Hewitt Midway Panthers. The Hawks came onto the field with fire in their eyes and a determination to end Midway's domination. With strong fan support on the visitors' side, the Hawks came out ready behind quarterback Eddie Goodrow. Coach Osborne and his staff had put together a great game plan on both offense and defense and seemed to be ready for anything Midway had to throw at them. After exchanging touchdowns, the Hawks and Panthers went into the locker room tied at 7. The offense was led by strong running from sophomore Robert Morris, who carried 12 times for 90 yards. Morris was not alone as the slashy Brandon Swinford picked up several crucial yards, as did running backs Charlie Duncan and Zach Barlow. Goodrow also mixed in 30 yards rushing to go along with a great passing night as he went 8 of 14 for 136 yards. Michael Rich led the Hawks with 2 catches for 39 yards. As impressive as the offense was, the defense was even more dominant, with outstanding line play from Lee McDowell and several key tackles from Jose Canales to go along with 3 huge interceptions by the star of the game, Casey Fitzgerald. The defense held the Panthers to only 74 yards on the ground and 172 in the air. Fitzgerald's late interception return for the touchdown put the icing on the cake and gave the Hawks a big 23-13 victory. The Hawks' second test would be against a much improved Joshua Owls at Owl Stadium. The night would be one to forget as everything just seemed to go wrong for the Hawks. The offense was never able to get on track and finished with only 153 yards total offense. The highlight for the Hawks was a 25-yard interception return for a touchdown by Casey Fitzgerald. The Hawks would quickly have to put Joshua out of their minds as they would prepare for a home opener against a much improved Fort Worth Southwest team that entered the game with a 2-0 record with big wins over Lake Worth and Crowley. The Hawks once again found themselves in trouble early as the Raiders took the opening offensive play and turned it into a 38-yard touchdown pass to put the Hawks down 7-0. The Hawks would fight back behind a nice 23-yard touchdown run by sophomore Cody Stiles, but the rest of the game would belong to the Raiders as they escaped Goodloe Stadium with a 16-7 upset over our Hawks. After the tough loss to Southwest, it was time to set the sights on rival Midlothian Panthers, who would come into Goodloe Stadium with one thing on their minds: revenge. The Hawks, who ruined the Panthers' homecoming last year, would have to battle up against the hungry Panthers to keep their bragging rights in northern Ellis County. The game would start out just as Hawks fans were hoping for, as senior running back Charlie Duncan took a handoff and rumbled in for a 2-yard touchdown to give the Hawks a first-quarter lead. The newest addition to the squad, kicker Matt Esparza, booted in an extra point and the Hawks led 7-0. the defense, as they have done most of the year, gave the Hawks a boost as pressure from the defensive line forced a bad pass which was picked off by who else but Casey Fitzgerald, who took the 15-yard interception into the end zone, and after another Esparza extra point, the game was tied 14-14. The Hawks would run into trouble late as a bad snap in the end zone was recovered by the Panthers, and Midlothian took a 21-14 lead. The Hawks would not quit and move down the field, but a turnover late in the game gave the Panthers their revenge on our Hawks in the 21-14 victory. The Hawks find themselves 1-3 going into a matchup against Fort Worth Polytech in a rare Saturday game that we played after press time. We will bring you highlights from next month's game with Polytech, as well as the big district matchup against Terrell and Ennis. As we get ready to move into the all-important district schedules in both football and volleyball, we sent our Hawkeye News reporter Robert Kent out to bring us the closer look on the upcoming district schedule for the Hawks and the Lady Hawks. Robert?
The Hawks and Lady Hawks are off and running in pre-district play, and while the Lady Hawks are on a championship pace, the Hawks have found peaks and valleys in the first few games of the season. After getting the top two ranked teams in the district out of the way, the Hawks will need to buckle down against Maybank and Lancaster at home before finishing up the regular season on November 7th at Corsicana. Maybank and Lancaster both look to be improved teams on paper, and after being soundly defeated by our Hawks last season, they are sure to have revenge on their minds. Revenge might be a good word for the Hawks as they close out the season against the Corsicana Tigers, who by the slimmest of margins stopped the Hawks from reaching the playoffs last year. Corsicana has also been given the number 14 ranking in the Dallas Morning News polls, which will test the true grit of Coach Osborne's Hawks this season. The other team looking to make a statement this season is the defending state championship Lady Hawks volleyball team. As reported earlier in the show, the Lady Hawks are off to a great season, with championships in both the Justin Northwest and Arlington Lamar tournaments, but the real run for another state title lies ahead, as the ladies also feel they will have new tests to pass in district. The first half of the district will be rounded out with matches at Maybank and at Lancaster before returning home against Corsicana on October 7th. The ladies are once again looking to make a strong statement in district play before setting their sights on their playoff run. Students should plan to attend as many games as possible to help our teams on their way to the ultimate prize. Hawkeye News, this is Robert Kent.
Our final story this month is on our cross-country boys team, as they look to post back-to-back district titles in this season. Coach Foster has lots to be smiling about these days as he prepares the boys' cross-country team to defend their district title later this year. The team will be led by district cross-country champion from last year, Zach Walker. Walker will team with Travis Berlin, Farron Henson, Gabriel Cicero, and Cody Stratton to make up the varsity team. New members that have a shot at the varsity squad include Adam Johnston, Justin Renfro, and Bobby Zimmerman. The JV will be made up of Michael Batiste, Josh Fisher, Josh Flores, Sean Goose, Tyler Jennings, Hector Lopez, Gio Montoyo, Matt Walker, and Zach Wright. While cross-country never seems to get much attention, these athletes work extremely hard, training in the heat, cold, wet, or any other condition that Mother Nature throws at them. So we would like to wish best of luck to our cross-country team and look forward to bringing you more on the boys and girls teams in the future editions of Hawkeye News. We would like to thank this month's sponsor, Danny Humphreys of State Farm Insurance. And until next time, that does it for sports. Natalie and Christian?
Thanks, Brady. We'll see you next month.
Now it's time for our junior high reporter, Katie Stanglin, to bring us news from Red Oak Junior High. For more on what's new at ROJH, we go to Katie Stanglin. Katie?
Hello, Red Oak Junior High. Being back to school also means another busy month and a touching story at ROJH. So go with me now as we take a closer look at the activities of Red Oak Junior High. First of all, I'd like to introduce the new members of the 2003-2004 ROJH volleyball team. Our Lady Hawks are doing an awesome job and we're hoping for a successful season. Keep up the good work. New Faces and Places is the case for Red Oak Junior High. I'd like to introduce Ms. Coker and Mrs. Stell and welcome these two wonderful ladies to our school. Trudy Coker teaches 7th grade reading literacy skills and has taught for 23 years, with the last 16 being at Alvarado Junior High. She is happy to be teaching here in Red Oak ISD and really enjoys working with the students and faculty. Next we have Kristen Estelle, who is originally from this area. She has had the opportunity to travel internationally and lived in Germany for 1.5 years. Also, she's happily married and has 2 sons. She feels truly blessed. We're very excited to have them here at our campus, and we know they will be making a difference. In other news, we kicked off our football season with the very first pep rally. There were performances by our Hawk mascot, Corey Freeman, our junior high cheerleaders, the Hawkettes, and of course, what's a pep rally without student participation? We would like to thank the band for playing the national anthem. You guys did a superior job, and we'll be looking forward to more pep rallies to come. As everyday students, we go through life taking things for granted. Today I'm going to share with you what one determined 7th grader gave to help someone else in need. 4 years ago, Valerie Strickland's grandfather had cancer. He has since recovered, but through his process, she saw how devastating it would be for a girl her age to go through something like that. She had a family friend that grew their hair out for a cancer patient's wig, and Val decided to do the same. She had heard about Locks of Love, which is kids donating hair for other kids with cancer who have lost their hair from the process of chemo and radiation therapy. Valerie started growing her hair out in the spring of her 5th grade year of 2001. Next time you're taking something for granted, just remember that there are less fortunate people all over the world, and we would like to thank a great kid like Valerie Strickland for making a difference. Until next month, I'm Katie Stanglin, Hawkeye News.
Thanks, Katie. We'll see you next month.
This month, crime reporter Tamara Llewellyn is back to talk to us about a drug that has a very high price, not only with health but mental and emotional damage that can last a lifetime. Tamara?
Thank you, Natalie. The use of Rohypnol, also known as the date rape drug, has increased to high numbers over the past decade.
This month's Hawkeye News Crime Report is brought to you by the Texas Department of Public Safety Officers Association, proud sponsors of drug-free Red Oak ISD students.
Rohypnol is manufactured by Hoffmann La Roche and prescribed as a sleeping pill in countries outside the United States. It is used as a short-term treatment for insomnia as a sedative hypnotic. Rohypnol tablets are usually white, scored on one side with the word Roche. Rohypnol is not manufactured or sold legally in the U.S. However, it is produced and sold legally by prescription in Europe and Latin America. It is smuggled into the U.S. by mail or delivery services. Why has there been an increase in teen use of Rohypnol? Well, the first reason is due to the fact that it is a low-cost drug, averaging at about $5 per tablet. Second is that many believe that the drug is unadulterated because it comes in a pre-sealed bubble packaging and is therefore tamper-proof and safe. Intoxication of the drug is generally associated with impaired judgment and impaired motor skills, which can make a victim unable to resist a sexual attack. The side effects with alcohol can be hazardous due to their effects on memory and judgment is greater than either taken alone. Rohypnol can be addictive and can cause physical dependence. Withdrawal symptoms can include headache, muscle pain, confusion, hallucinations, and convulsions. Seizures are also possible occurrences. Rohypnol is called the date rape drug, along with forget pill, trip and fall, and mind easers, because women and girls around the country have reported being raped after being involuntarily sedated with Rohypnol, which was often slipped into their drink by an attacker. It has no taste and no odor, so the victim doesn't realize what is happening. After 10 minutes, the victim becomes dizzy and disoriented, simultaneously too hot or too cold, or nauseated. The victim may experience difficulty speaking and moving and then pass out. Such victims have no memory of what happened while under the drug's influence. So ladies, when at a party, be wary about accepting drinks from anyone you don't know well or have known long enough to trust. Don't ever leave your drink unattended and notify others as well. If you think you've been a victim, notify the authorities immediately.
Thanks, Tamara. Hopefully our students will heed the warning and not become a victim to such a horrible situation.
We here at Hawkeye News think it is very important for us to share information with our student body that will help us reach our academic goals. That is why we decided from time to time to drop in on our wonderful counseling office for information and tips our students need for success.
We take a look this month at a familiar face in a new place, Mrs. Jackie Hervey, who has joined the counseling team and will be helping with many areas of academic planning for our sophomores. Mrs. Hervey has been with the district several years helping students in the classroom, homebound, in credit recovery at Acorn Academy, and much more. Mrs. Hervey has been the reason many students have reached their full potential and graduated in the past several years. Mr. Kostadar, Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Osborne, and Mrs. Cleveland are all excited about having Mrs. Hervey on the team.
This year I'll be the academic advisor for the 10th grade, so I'll help children count their credits and make sure they're on track. Students can come by if they need a schedule change. They can come by if they're having trouble in a class. I can also help them with the Plato lab if that would be necessary, that type of thing. I can sign other children up for the Plato lab. I'll be at the Red Oak High School Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and Tuesday and Thursday afternoons.
Well, of course, right now, it's always scholarship time. We have a couple of scholarships out on our scholarship board. I encourage all seniors to come by and visit the scholarship board. Make sure that you've got everything picked up. Another thing we're doing right now is PSAT for all sophomores and juniors. PSAT registration is $11. It starts September the 23rd through October the 9th. PSAT test will be October the 21st. What PSAT does is prepare our sophomores and our juniors for the SAT. And if you're planning to go to a four-year school, this is very important for you to do. Another big thing for our seniors is our Everything a Senior Should Know book. If you're planning on going to college and you want to find out what you should be doing, you need to come by and pick up a book from Ms. Cleveland. What this does, this not only talks to your parents about how to select a college, but it instructs you how to do on a monthly basis what you should be doing, how to prepare for an interview, what to look for in a college, comparative costing in a college. Should I take SAT or ACT? The comparative, what is different from one from the other. Just everything that a senior can know that wants to go to college, this is going to be a great book. And after this, we hope to be working on a book for scholarships. That everything that a senior can do or obtain in a scholarship, we hope that's going to be available next year. So the best thing that I can tell seniors is watch the scholarship board, get in here and pick up your scholarships and fill them out on time. The counseling office would like to say a special hello to Coach Garcia.
We at Red Oak High School are truly blessed to have such a caring and hardworking counseling staff, and as the school district motto says, we thank each of our counseling staff for helping us reach our individual students' dreams.
That's it for this edition, but if you would like to contact us with your comments, questions, or suggestions, you can call us at 972-617-4312, mailbox number 4, or write us at HawkeyeNews@RedOakISD.org.
I'm Christian Henson. And I'm Natalie Hillary. We will also be adding J.D. Foster to our news team next month.
We'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, make it a great day.